Cowboy Jim, sure do appreciate you tuning in, even if it was by an accident, but nonetheless, if you did it by intent, YouTube tell me that they need me to ask every time I'm going to do a video, and I think this is 249 videos I've done in 9 months roughly, and they tell me ask people to subscribe. Well, listen, people. If what I say is worth subscribing to, please do. If it isn't, don't waste your time. Okay, like don't. I'm not asking you to do something that is contrary to what you believe in your heart you should do, and but I just really have been getting excited today. I don't get very excited about very much. I did once, not that long ago, and but nonetheless I don't. And the rationale for that is, uh, I kind of take my time and I take a long look at a problem from every side that I can think of, and then I get busy. But anyways, um, I was watching a farmer over in Ireland, and Farmer Phil. Boy, I tell you, Canadians, you should tune that boy in. He's worth watching, and I hope he watches just one of my videos. And I have a lot of family in Ireland, but I don't think they hardly know that I exist, but that's okay. In Europe, the Canadian influence, Freedom Convoy, doing pretty good over there. Paris, France, uh, all over the place, children. The world is watching Canada, and it's worth watching. And I just really want to thank the truckers and the people uh, in the United States of America. And that doesn't mean the Democrats. And up here in Canada, it doesn't mean the liberals either. But there is a movement afoot, and it is going to go a lot further than most people think. That chief of police down there in Ottawa uh, is absolutely silly. I mean, anyone who has studied history, who have studied Canadians, uh, you see us protesting. We're peace-loving people, but don't push us too far, because our ancestors, most all our ancestors here in Canada, fought for freedom and gave us the privilege of walking in it. Um, and we're going to walk into the freedom of choice. Thankfully, the world governments are coming to the place where they are looking more at the science behind their decision making than the agenda represented in their decision making. And Canadians have what is called objectivity. And uh, we can be quite limited to what we can say. And so I'm walking pretty carefully here. And I just showed encouragement to all peoples of the world to stand, as I said in the last video, for something. Ascertain, determine what that something is that's right for you. But you stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. Now, I'm not saying very much about, and actually nothing about COVID, because that's not appreciated. but I'm pretty sure that it's socially acceptable, and I'm not into a social acceptation. But I like this little seat here in front of this little YouTube thing, and but I love Canada, and have enjoyed the freedoms represented in the honor to have freedom, the ability to process thought, the depth of being able to look around and ascertain what it is I choose to believe. And what I choose to believe, it doesn't fluctuate according to the wind as politicians. Up here, I was listening, and some of our conservative representatives that a week ago were strongly supporting the Freedom Convoy. Well, they're not sure, just they're not sure now. And if what you are sure of fluctuates like a breeze, it's here today and it's floated downstream somewhere else. You should really ascertain what you really believe and stand for that which is right. And that's what we do up here. I'm not sure what happens to politicians when they do get elected and all of a sudden they're spewing. I could spell that word for you, but it's kind of like throwing up. Spewing thought process that has very little to do with reality. And so not just truckers, but people of the world, you watch Canada, you watch polite Canadians who are men and strong women making decisions about how they're going to live their lives in support of freedom, of choice, freedom. Can you imagine freedom? Well, we were given freedom. Second World War. My uncle Jim Marshall, he said, he called me Jimmy. People don't call me Jimmy. Call me Jim. But my uncle and my mom called me Jimmy, and he said, Jimmy, there are no foxhole or no atheists in the foxholes of war. I finally got that right. I gotten that twisted about 3 times. But I'm not sure as to the exact validity of that statement, but I really believe that when you're being shot at, when your life is on the line, you'll take the time to make sure that what you have decided to live and die for is worth the living and the dying. And we aren't a violent people up here in Canada, but we know how to fight. I mean, I fought in the Canadian Championship in judo in 1970. I lost, but I always told myself at least they invited me. And but you guard yourselves because people will try to infiltrate the trucking industry and try to represent the truckers in a really immoral light. This morning I was watching, and there were some good interviewers. Very hard to find a truly unbiased interviewer, and harder still to find a politician that doesn't act like a scientist and come to a conclusion and thereafter try to validate through experimentation the validity of what it is they have purported to be truth. And that's where we're at. Um, as Canadians, we have established what we believe to be a truth, a truism, and that freedom of choice is a right that has been given to us by our ancestors who fought, bled, and died for freedom. And we're not about to walk away from that in a casual sort of manner. And because though we are polite, we're not stupid children. And so a politician that says one thing today and something else tomorrow, because what they say tomorrow, though it differs from what they said today, may enable them to get reelected. I look forward to the next elections here in Canada. I believe there are going to be some serious changes. And real truckers aren't trying to overthrow the government, by the way. That's just processed hay out of the tail end of a horse. And that's not what we're about. What we're about is simply this. We have the right to choose to live in a country freely, to behave respectfully, honorably, with true acceptation of other people whose belief systems are different than ours. Because I believe something does not mean that I am absolutely correct, but it does not mean that I'm absolutely wrong either. So you decide where and what you're going to do in order to accomplish something that's bigger than yourself. And you'll do just fine, I'm pretty sure. I think that's 12. Oh my, don't we have time? That's very good. God bless you. Remember my pet peeves, abused children, the resultant ladies that grow through that. Don't forget to pray for our truckers in the Freedom Convoy and those thousands and thousands and thousands of Canadians who are just, well, they're civilians, let's say. We're not at war. And the Trucker Freedom Convoy, they're not at war. They're expressing their choice. Choice is plural. And we choose to walk in freedom. Politicians, Canadian politicians, you liberals, and you conservatives who are just waffling now, you have to stand for something, children. You, if you think this little protest is going to go away, you're wrong. It's not going away. Our Freedom Convoy, it's going to make a mark in the world, and it already is. And you, United States of America, you truckers down there, fill those tanks, children. Your fuel is ridiculously expensive. Well, that's just Mr. Biden's way of trying to get you converted to electricity, electrical vehicles. You want to picture how many electrical vehicles it would take to pull one trailer of product? Jeez, people are so stupid, Fossil fuels. Oh, it's terrible. Hey, In Fort Mac, we are cleaning up the world's greatest, largest, biggest natural oil spill known in the history of mankind. It's fossil fuel, pours right out of the sand when the sand banks along the river get heated up. And we all up here are doing our best to keep it cleaned up. We're doing not a bad job, and we're accomplishing something, fulfilling a purpose. So, truckers, you be strong. U.S. truckers, you get ready to take a good drive from California. Oh, our protest here in Canada has not even hardly begun. Your protest down there, politicians, all they want is to get reelected, unless there are men like Stephen Harper and Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu over in Israel. You truckers, you behave, okay? You be nice, you be polite, and U.S. truckers, listen to Canadian truckers and watch what we do and how polite we can be, and that's the problem with the people that show encouragement for democracy, and they don't mean it. They want to destroy the countries, and they want to acclimate people to not having a mind whereby they can actually process thought and think, make decisions for ourselves. Well, we can. We're not giving that up. U.S. truckers, this old Irishman's going to be praying for you. Praying that God will give you strength to be the men that you know in your heart you want to be. Peace-loving, respectful, honorable, but tough to the core. Tough. Not stupid, but tough. God bless you. This is a novel idea, less than 18 minutes. The world is watching. Pray for Biden, would you? Pray that someone will help him get into a place where he can rest, survive. I feel so sad. I watch that man. I'm telling you, I'm 72. I feel like 40. Mental acuity is not bad at my end. That's my own opinion. But that poor man down there, someone should love him enough to get him out of power. He's hurting himself and his reputation, which wasn't that good in the first place. I mean, 40 years and doing nothing, sitting in politics, but doing nothing. Help him. Pray for that man. Pray for, well, I'd be hard-pressed to pray for blackface up here, our prime minister. I guess I should. I'm going to struggle with that. Well, God bless you. You have a good day. Man up, children. Fight for something with words and actions, but not physical, okay? You don't need to do physical crap unless it's in self-defense. Okay? Be nice. Be polite. God bless. Remember God. He loves you. That's a fact.